This is John Walton, and you're listening to the Power Play Point podcast with the Blue Liner on point and Anna Knox. Here's Wilson, and on the right circle, he scores!
Rebound loose, wild scramble in front, score! Ovechkin with a buzzer beater! It'll count!
And a hat trick tonight, number 21,
Hello and welcome once again to the Power Play Point podcast. This is your host, the Blue Liner on Point, talking to you live to tape from my humble abode in Glen Burnie, Maryland. It's kind of a dreary day. Thanksgiving weekend's winding up as I'm looking out my window. But otherwise, hope you out there on the other side of the earbuds, wherever you be, had a pretty good Thanksgiving. And joining me, who I hope also had a good Thanksgiving, or, well, better than most anyway, is my always wonderful, beautiful tag team partner on this podcast, the one and only mermaid live from Centerville, Virginia, Anna Knox.
Yeah, happy Sunday, y'all.
Happy Sunday. Happy Sunday after Thanksgiving. There's Black Friday and there's Cyber Monday, and I guess I don't know what you call the Sunday after Thanksgiving, but maybe Pepto-Bismol Sunday. I don't know.
Yeah, really.
Maybe.
I don't know. I had, I cooked all day. I loved it. I watched sports, of course. Niners played. Well, that's another sport for a different podcast. But yeah, it was good. It was good. The weather was gorgeous, and then like today was like meh. So today was the day inside and utilize those leftovers.
Yeah, I'm sure, and I know you actually had a bit of a time during your time off. But before we get into that, I just want to remind our listeners that the Power Play Point podcast is the only Caps fan-made podcast that, well, unlike certain phone service providers, we won't send really awkward Christmas carolers to try and spread the word about our product.
God, no. Do you imagine?
You know what I'm talking about, right?
Versus the Christmas carolers in general is not really my thing, but
well,
we wouldn't do that.
I don't mind Christmas carolers in general, but that commercial is, I've probably seen it. I've myself maybe about 6,000 times since last week.
It's a bit much. It's up there with the Kristen Coons.
Yeah. And funny you should mention her, because the lead singer is the lead actress has that Coons vibe about her that she really creeps me out.
Totally, but and anytime the Coons people come on, I'm like, oh, cringeworthy. But yes, sorry, I didn't mean to ruin your Carol joke.
No, that's fine. That's more me venting about that horrible commercial.
It is bad
than anything, but So as I was saying, you had a bit of a to do where you were. So I think, some Facebook friends saw some pics. So why don't you go ahead and tell our listeners about that? At least, the ones down your way in Northern Virginia probably should hear about this if they didn't get a chance to go down there.
Definitely. It was called a Winter Lantern Festival, and it was okay. Well, first off, we hit a ton of traffic, which if you live in this area, anytime you have to go to Tyson's or even talk about the Beltway on Black Friday, you need to take a shot or something, because it's so. And so of course we hit traffic and we got rerouted and blah, blah, blah. And then of course I didn't realize the event was actually like literally across the street from Tyson's too. So there was all that fun in parking and whatever. But I will say, like, the line went quickly, and as soon as you got in, it was all these amazing lanterns, kind of random and in some of the things that they did. I will say, I don't know if you seem like a history buff, right?
I am.
Yeah. So the Terracotta Warriors.
Oh, nice.
Like, really, I mean, like, not a whole lot of people know, about that and stuff. But they had probably about 24 lanterns of the Warriors. It was very cool. Like, that part was really cool. And then, like, right next to it was a bunch of jellyfish. So it's like, when I say it was random, it was like, but of course that was like my favorite part. I was like, oh my God, they're jellyfish and they're seahorses. And then as you kind of wind your way through, there was like, we were trying to figure out what if they were like the rejected Pokemon or something, because we were just like, what is going on here? There's
Robbie and Casey would know more about.
Oh, they probably would. And I think at one point, like, there was some guy behind me that was like, well, that's a blah, blah, blah. And I was like, dude, stop.
Okay.
But it was just like, it was just so weird because it wasn't anything like we recognized. And I was like, I don't know what this is. And then you go through and you're at the, the whatever in the Chinese New Year. Avery and I are both Year of the Rabbit. Which is so cool. And I don't know if you've ever been to a Chinese New Year parade, but I used to always in San Francisco, and it was so amazing. And Ian's Year of the Rooster, and then Womp Womp Hunter's Year of the Rat. So his picture is like, yay. But anyways, highly recommended. They've got it. I think it's going on for another couple weeks. And I will say, if you're anywhere in the area, take the metro to Tyson's, because then you don't have to deal with parking, and it's literally in the stop is right there. You go down the escalator and there's your Lantern Festival. That's what we did.
Very cool. So that's right off Tyson's Corner.
Yeah. Like, right, it's in like this huge learner park, like just an open space. And I thought it was where they did the Cirque du Soleil, but that's like a little bit down a little bit further. But yeah, you take the metro, go. It's inexpensive and not just for kids. Like, I mean, it's fun for the kids, but I mean, we had a really good time and then great pictures and again, it was like, animals, Terracotta Warriors, and then I was amongst like snails and then jellyfish. It's just like a whole but to think that they were lanterns made it like that much cooler, because we were like, God, how do people do this? So
yeah, the one
recommend.
Yeah, the one in blue that you posted, that was pretty awesome looking.
Was that the jellyfish?
I think it was a jellyfish, yeah.
Yeah, like the coolest thing they did was like they put like 12 of them like in like a little it would be like a little avenue of jellyfish that you could go down, and I was quite excited. And then I got this like, well, it was for kids, but I really wanted one, and so I sent Avery back to get it. That little like light up headband feather thing that they're like, it looks like a dream catcher. I'm like, it's not. It lights up, it blinks. So I got to embarrass everybody for the rest of the night wearing that. That's what's going on with it. I didn't intentionally leave the house wearing that. I just got there and I was like, I want one of those. I'm like, it's for kids. I'm like, I don't care. So that's what's going on with the headband. But yeah, everybody got one. So pretty cool.
Sounds like it. And okay, so yeah, if anybody cares, I'm Year of the Tiger, just to get that out of the way.
Very cool. See, I'm glad you know. Like, a lot of people don't know.
Well, I'm half Asian, so I kind of have to know.
That is true. So have you ever been to the parade in DC?
Not the actual parade. Okay. I did long time ago.
You were a little tiny girl.
Yeah, I went to one of the things for the opening of the cherry blossoms.
Oh, cool. Okay.
which of course come from Japan.
Hmm.
But yeah, no, never been to a Chinese New Year parade, but yeah, always kind of sort of wanted to do something like that. So
All right, 2024.
yeah, we'll mark that on the calendar on the old to-do list.
Yes.
So
Yes.
yeah, and it 'tis the season, so yeah, buckle up for 24/7 Christmas music, not from us, but from other sources. So yeah,
Everywhere.
everywhere. So but yeah, feel free to rant about that here if you'd like. And if you want a Christmas free zone, we're not really going to talk about it that much here. So if you need an escape, a Festivus like escape from Christmas and such holidays, we're your refuge. So
Yes.
we're cool with that. Okay, so now that we've kind of run down how Thanksgiving has gone for us, sort of, let's get to the two games that were played
Yep.
over this somewhat abbreviated week. So while we were basking in the glow, or at least I was, in being gruntled over the victory that we were live for against Columbus, Caps had two more games in their homestand
Hmm.
before their upcoming road trip. And so the next to last one was Wednesday, the 22nd, against the Buffalo Sabres. And
Hmm.
well, this one didn't start very well. And they fell behind 2-0. And the first goal scored by JJ Paterka, he was kind of all alone at the point. This one, okay, so Darcy Kemper got the start and goal. A lot of groaning and moaning about that. I myself, I kind of would have liked to see Charlie in there because he kind of had the hot hand, but I get you want to keep your goaltenders fresh. So I kind of get why the decision. And so this one went in, and like I said, immediately the groaning and the moaning began. Never heard such complaining, until I did the laundry that one day, and well, that's another story. Anyway, so that first goal, I can't really put that on the goaltending. He was kind of sort of screened. If you look at the replay, Alex Ovechkin kind of skated by like he was in the ice capades and blocked the view. And Alex Alexiev looks like he was trying to propose to somebody because he was down on one knee. I don't know why. Alexei Protas was out in left field somewhere, and I don't know where the hell everybody else was. But yeah, that was just bad coverage all around. And you could make the argument that Kemper could have stopped it or should have stopped it, but kind of hard to stop something you see at the last minute whizzing by.
Right.
And yeah, so 1-0 immediately. Well, not immediately, but 1-0 Sabres at 10:09, and then almost 6 minutes later, exactly. Wow. Okay, so this one, I don't think you can hang this one on the goalie at all. I highly recommend watching this on the replay if you have not already. Zach Benson, who was drafted by the Sabres last year in the first round, so their first round draft choice. Yeah, he took a pass in the corner and just skated in towards the crease. And yeah, this one you could pull out of my pre-wash delicates pile because it was filthy dirty. Between the legs and in. Wow. Yeah, this was nice. This is one of those where you gotta tip the hat to the goal scorer because yeah.
Yeah. There at that point you can't be snarky about this one.
No.
We would be praising it if it was one of ours, and this one you just have to, out of respect, say it was pretty badass.
Yeah, it was. And if this is a preview of coming attractions for what this guy can do, then Buffalo's in for a treat because yeah, this was pretty damn good. So again, Zach Benson, his first career NHL goal, and I'm pretty sure it's going to be far from his last, assisted by
And
Victor
isn't he like 18?
He's 18 years old. Yeah, he was their first round draft choice in the draft last summer. So, I think he's played the minimum 10 games, so he's probably going to be sticking around this year.
Okay.
And then so the guy we mentioned who was trying to marry somebody in the first goal, less than a minute
Redeemed
later
himself.
at 17:01, yes, he redeemed himself by scoring his first career NHL goal, assisted by Dowd and Van Riemsdyk.
Good
And
for him.
so, yeah, we're going to call up the old replay from the app. And so, yeah, Dowd and Van Riemsdyk are at the point. Alexeyev's playing catch on the wing, and he just collects it and just throws it on net. And I don't think it hit anybody, but he managed to get it in. It was a seeing eye puck that didn't really hit anybody in front, and it made it in. So 2-1 Caps at that point, going into the third period, or the second period rather. So yeah, Beck Mallenstein gets the screen, and I think that was Levi in goal. Pretty sure that was Levi in goal that missed it. He just missed it on the stick side. And Alexeyev fires it. Oh, you know what? It did hit a body in front, but it was off a saber. But Mallenstein set the screen, and it went in. So you take them any way you can. So 2-1 Caps at that point. So on to the second period we go, and 7:50 in, and finally we get to ride down them country roads. TJ Oshie finally breaks the score sheet with his first of the season, assisted by Connor McMichael. 7:50. Call this one back, Toronto, you freaking hosers. I dare you to call this one back. But
Right.
yeah. So calling up the replay on this one. Okay, so they're on the forecheck here, and McMichael gets a shot on goal. Juicy rebound, and Oshie puts it away. Nice one there, and it was Levi in net for that one as well. And so let's see. Okay, so calling up the slow-mo. Okay, so over to McMichael. He fires it. Levi leaves a wide open net. Nice juicy rebound, and Oshie puts it away like a bad jar of olives into the net. Actually, I shouldn't use that. I mean, I happen to like olives.
I do too. I don't know what that means. I can think of other things that are terrible, but
yeah, well, anchovies, sardines, bad container, something you kind of bury.
Yeah. Yes.
Something you want to bury in the cabinet and hope to never ever find again.
Okay.
Okay, so that ties it up, and I don't know why there wasn't a secondary assist, because the guy who got it to McMichael should have been credited for that, but oh well. So Dylan Cousins, about I want to say 8.5 minutes later, Bruins. Buffalo gets a power play, and Dylan Cousins with his fourth on the power play. And I think this was, if I'm not mistaken, this was the tail end of. Let me see if I can call it up. But the Caps were down, like they were on like a 5-on-3 for like forever. And the refs were really the refs were terrible this game. But yeah, okay. So the second period, yeah. So Jensen got a minor, and then oh yeah, this was the joke penalty. We were talking about this on the Sucrum's Off the Chain Caps podcast that I was on yesterday with Marcus. Marcus Lemley and C4, Cheryl Ann Forster, out now on Spotify, latest episode. Bad officiating here. Connor McMichael basically tapped Jeff Skinner on the leg, and it gets called for hooking. Caps are 2 men down, and it's like, what the F? And Darcy was doing his best to keep everything out. Penalty kill was doing their damnedest to keep everything out. But, I mean, you can only do so much when you're 2 men down. They eventually ran out of gas. And so they got that goal from Cousins to take the 3-2 lead. All looked lost until
Big
dramatic pause. And this was, you talk about, okay, so I don't think I'm being grandiose when I say this, but Tommy Wilson played the hero. 1 minute, 15 seconds left in the game, left in regulation. So 15 seconds shy of nice six-pack. And I don't mean abs, I mean McNuggets.
But he has the abs too, so.
Yeah, true. Not that I've noticed that kind of thing again.
Mm-hmm.
But, yeah.
I do, but anyhow.
Anyway, so Carlson sets it up from the point. Strome on the wing finds Tom out on the high slot and fires another seeing eye shot that makes it past stick side. And I think they eventually figured out, because that was the second goal that beat Levi to the stick side.
Mm-hmm.
So I think they eventually figured out a weakness there. So I'm calling up the replay on this one. Okay, so they're setting up the screen. Wilson gets it to Strome. Strome skates in, finds Wilson, and he fires it. Actually, he was inside the right circle. So a little right of the slot, but you get the idea. So I'm waiting for the slow-mo to call up. And so, stick side looks like, yep, he's reaching out with the stick, and he just can't quite get to it. So I think they figured out that he's weak on the stick side, Levi is, and that's where Tommy put it, and that's
It was
where
awesome.
it went in. And awesome. We thought the game was lost, a lot of us, but now tied in regulation. And so we go to overtime, praying not for a shootout, but for a win. Almost went to the shootout 8 seconds before the end of regulation, so damn near a full 65-minute limit. Dylan Strome gets the game winner, and
how awesome was that, though?
How awesome was this? We got.
Was like I was screaming at the TV, but I also said on Sports on the Hill last week that I knew I had a good feeling that they were going to take this game. So I was the only one who felt that way, but so to have it end this way was great, and Strome is just fucking amazing.
I felt like this was winnable, but this was something of a trap game because Buffalo hadn't been playing very well, so I wasn't surprised with how they did. But let's run down the replay. So Carlson gets it to Strome, exiting the zone. He has Milano all practically by himself on the left wing, so he could have passed and looked like he was going to pass, and he fooled everybody, including the goalie. So he just decided to fire it, and it just kind of skipped over the glove side this time of Levi, and that went in, and happy 2 points for us.
Definitely.
So the vitals on this one: 30 shots on goal for the good guys, 27 for the Sabres. So Darcy got 24 out of 27. Not bad. I would say not real bad. Power play still stinks like Pepe Le Pew.
Yes.
0 for 2. That needs work. That's still, oh boy. That's broken like the 20-year-old hip swinging Santa Claus that everybody gets off of eBay. That's beyond broken. 20 minutes in penalties total between both teams. Most of them called in the third period. So again, kind of weird officiating going on here. I thought this stat was a little strange. 20 hits for the Caps, 9 only for the Sabres. So
I didn't see that.
I didn't see that. But Alan May likes to complain about the way they keep track of the hits, and so it's that this might be another one of those nights where they kind of were a little off on that one. So
A lot of refs you suck moments. So
Yeah, a lot of that. And Caps were frankly lucky to win this game because their output really fell off. Well, everything fell off in the third. 9 total shots on goal, 5 for the Caps in the third period. But but they got the winner, and that's all that matters. And well, let's see. So Tommy was it was a fight. He was 1 assist away from the old Gordie Howe hat trick because
yes, he was.
he actually got into a fight about a minute or a couple minutes left in the second. One of those stupid ones where clean hit, and just somebody decided he needed to answer for a clean hit.
Right.
They really need to start figuring out, the league does, what to do about that, because that's just ridiculous.
Well, it's so inconsistent, and that's incredibly frustrating. So yes, I agree, and I feel like he is always a target. But yeah,
it is. And but what would help is if the league would actually do their damn job in the first friggin' place.
True.
And crack down on all of the bad hits and not just some of them.
Yeah. Be consistent.
Be consistent. Yeah, that's all we ask. But no, apparently that's too much to ask. All right, so that would be their 5th win in a row. And yeah, it was pretty good to be a Caps fan again. And then
then I think we should just end the show right there.
Well, I wish we could, but we have one more game to report on.
I know.
Unfortunately. And this was the come back down to earth game. I won't call it a trap game, but it was a come back down to earth game, and it was against the Edmonton friggin' Oilers. And yeah, I was really hoping for a lot better. I didn't think it would be this bad, but I mean, I knew it had potential to be a close game, but yeah, no goals for the Caps. Only 25 shots on goal. Caps surrendered 35 shots on goal. 5 goals. Charlie Lindgren was in net for the whole run of the debauchery. Caps PK was just as bad as their PP. PP continues to smell like really foul body odor. 0 for 5.
How is that? I'm not gonna say how is it possible, but what the fuck? How? What is going on? I don't think we've ever been this bad statistically. It's just I just when I have to listen to stats or see the stats, it's cringeworthy.
I think the latest rate was 6.5%. Good for 32nd and then last in the league. 6.5%. I know banks that give interest rates that are higher than that figure.
Right. Well, last in the league. I mean, come on.
Yeah.
Anyhow.
What are you going to do? But it's continues to be a work in progress, and it's not going to get any better because one of the guys that's supposed to be a help was injured in said debauchery game.
Yeah.
TJ Oshie.
That was rough to see.
Well, I don't know what you would call this. You could make the argument that it was more of a collision than an intentional hit.
I honestly, I mean, and maybe I'm going to get booed for this, and I don't care. I don't think it was intentional.
I don't really think it was either.
I think it was just, but I mean, you got 2 powerhouses, going at a good clip to, collide into each other. And when it's unexpected, TJ had no idea. What I mean, it was hard to see. It was hard to see anytime any player, but especially for this guy. I'm so worried about his, his head. You're just the amount of concussions and everything else. It's so concerning. And then he just looked dazed. like coming off the ice, and I know he's not going to be in the next 3 games, which is probably the best for him and for the team, but it's just frightening. Like, it's like, how, what is it going to take, kind of thing. I don't know. I just my heart breaks for that one. That whole
Well,
situation.
I think it's look, he's one of my favorites, and I'm not quite ready to call time on his career just yet. For a lot of different reasons, but like you said, it's probably good that he's gonna spend some time off because of this. Now, Lauren Oshie, his wife, did post something on, I believe it was her Instagram account, that said he was doing a lot better the next day, resting comfortably at home.
Right.
And while that's good to hear, I would like to get some sort of official diagnosis
Absolutely.
from an actual doctor. First, make sure it's not a concussion, and second, if it is a concussion, what are we talking about here as far as a timeline and recommended rest and whatnot and
Right.
prognosis. And if it's not a concussion, okay, what the hell is it? Because he did not look good either way.
No. I mean, and it's so vague when it's like upper body injury. It's like, well, yeah, we know that. And I would think concussion, and they just don't want to put it out there, because then that's going to get everybody to be like, again. But man, it's just hard. It's just hard to see. Like, I know he was moving on the ice, but it took a while, and then he just, like, that dazed look, and it was like, holy shit. But at least I will say the player stayed, and I can't remember. I can see his face and facial hair and everything, but I'm drawing a blank on who the hit was from.
It was Matthias Ekholm. He's and he not a little guy either. He's 6'5", 220.
Yeah. So
yeah, he didn't run into a little shrimpy guy.
No.
This was big boy he ran into. And yeah, if you see the replay, I can't say. I mean, the optics look like, because if you see the puck, Oshie's actually nowhere near the puck.
Right, and that's where everyone, I think, was.
I think that's where everyone might say, "All right, this is worse than a gray area."
Mm-hmm.
But playing devil's advocate and benefit of the doubt and all that, I think if you look at Ekholm, he's bracing. He's kind of like bracing for the contact,
right?
But not lunging forward like he's meaning to hit him. So I think I'm going to give him a pass on this one. I don't think it was intentional at all. And I think once he saw, the way he reacted, I don't think that was an act. It doesn't.
No, but I mean, he stayed there until he, and even said something to Osh as he was getting off the ice. So that tells me that it wasn't intentional. If it was like, let's say Ryan Reeves, he would have been gloating or something and being an asshole on the bench. This guy, I don't think he was able to stop himself in time. And you're 6'5", 220. Be a hell of a hit. It's like it's like being hit by a Tommy. Strength, but a Protus height. So that's a lot coming at you.
Yeah. And so it was just one of those. I'm not going to call this a dirty play at all.
Mm-hmm.
It's just one of those things that happen in hockey, and and unfortunately, it's going to result in this kind of a thing. But yeah, I get the fact that this is his, I don't know, at least his third or fourth concussion, maybe more. In his career.
I honestly thought it was more like 5 or 6, but
it may well be. Yeah. I don't have the exact number, but it wouldn't surprise me if it was that high. But once you get up to that number, And when you're at his age, yeah, I mean, there's a segment of our fan base that's saying, well, hey, you know what? It's time to hang him up, brother, because you're risking quality of life at this point. And I get that, but I want to wait until let's get him properly diagnosed and find out what's going on. And there's always if he's feeling the symptoms where and post concussion syndrome's a bitch if you've
Yeah.
ever gone through it. It is not fun. So if he's got the symptoms for sure, either way, I think he'll benefit with some rest. So let's just see how the next 3 weeks plays out, and we'll go from there. It's not like they can't figure out the roster space and whatnot. So I'm not going to pull the shroud over anything just yet. Some of you might decide to, and I get that. I'm not gonna argue that, but I'm for everybody's sake, I think we would all do well to just kind of wait it out. Let's see what the medical professionals say and go with that. And if it so happens that maybe he's risking more than just his career by being out there, then maybe it is time to hang him up. And I said the same thing about John Carlson when he was hit by the puck
The ear. Ugh.
in the ear that severed that artery. That I get that. Now that to me sounded more dangerous, and I was against him coming back at all that season.
Right.
But he ended up coming back, so go figure. But anyway, that's my take on that, and everybody's welcome to their opinion, but I say let the medical professionals do their job and figure this one out, and we'll go from there. And one way or the other, it'll get figured out.
Agree.
So I'm concerned, but I mean, I don't think this is a deal breaker for the season, which is kind of it's kind of a a learning curve type of season anyway, if everybody's been paying attention. So okay, so yeah, thus endeth the week on ice, and yeah, pretty big kick in the abdomen if you're a Caps fan, losing not only to a way lesser team, but losing like that. But what are you going to do? I mean, this is going to be it's one of those years, like I said. So all right, so we're coming up on another week, and so the next game, and we're actually coming up on a California love road trip, which means lots of games that are going to be starting at 10 o'clock or later, 10:30, in fact.
That's
So
too late.
yeah, Monday. I wonder what Robbie is kind of planning for this one, but yeah, Monday is a 10:30 puck drop at SAP Arena, I think it is. They play against the Sharks, and then Caps travel down the old I-10. Is that right?
Where are they going? To the Kings? No,
to LA.
Probably the 405.
405, yeah.
The 101.
Ask the California girl.
Right.
So yeah, down the 405 to LA against the Kings, who they'll face off Wednesday, the 29th. Kings having themselves a pretty good year, 8-1-1 in their last 10. So that's going to be an interesting game to watch.
Yeah.
And then the very next night is going to be a back-to-back, and okay, so it's they're playing the Heim Ducks. I'm calling them the Heim Ducks because they don't deserve to have your name in their name. They're not good enough. I don't.
True.
They're not worthy.
I'll take that.
So yeah, the Yucks on the 30th, which is Thursday, and then they're off Friday, and to end that week, our coverage, they're going to Vegas, and they're going to play the Knights, who overall having a big season, defending the cup, but struggling a bit, 4-5-1 in their last 10.
Right.
Caps already beat them this year, so they're probably going to have revenge on their minds.
100%, especially at home.
So yeah, especially at home, and it's a wild place to play. And that's another place on my bucket list to visit the Fortress, the T-Mobile Arena, and witness all that in person.
Nope.
No, there was no hockey in medieval times, but there is hockey at medieval times. And
Yeah,
we'll
not
just
my thing. We'll just leave
it at that. Nothing more than that really. It's a kind of a short week. I hope everybody had a pretty good Thanksgiving, and don't let the holiday blues get you down. Don't let the team get you down. A little bit of bad news. We're got some of the injury bug. Got some guys coming back. I think Faravari's pretty close to coming back.
Yeah, he's on for tomorrow.
Okay. So yeah, that I hadn't heard yet, but good catch, Anna. Last I heard, he was in a non-contact jersey. So yeah, that's good that they've penciled him in for tomorrow in San Jose. So that's great. I'm concerned again, but let's wait and see what happens, and the team will deal. But again, everybody needs to keep an eye on the future. That's when and where they're going to foot down on the pedal is future seasons. This
Right.
one, we're still feeling things out. So
absolutely. Well, and I think this is going to be. I'm going to go 50% on this one, 50-50 on the 4 games.
So you think they're going to come out 2-2?
I do.
Yeah, the Sharks game is a winnable one. I think the Ducks game, they should win, but as has been said, they shouldn't be taking anybody lightly, as they just learned. But yeah, those are the 2 games they should win. They played the Knights really well. I think they got a good chance of keeping up with them. The Kings, that's a new wrinkle. I don't know what that's going to present. So it's going to.
I think they're going to be at the wild card. To be honest,
I think you're right. That's the wild card game this week because it's not a surprise that they're playing well, but I don't know. I don't have too much of a book on them, so I don't think the coaching staff does either. So I don't know if they're 100% sure what to expect. So that's going to be an interesting game. But as I promised, we're going to try and keep up with all of these games. No promises, because I for one am of a certain age. But we're gonna keep up with them and at least study the stats and whatnot. So we'll do our best to give you our one-of-a-kind coverage as we always do. So 2-2, Anna says, I wouldn't be inclined to agree. If you want to catch more of our analysis, you can catch us on, me at least. I don't want to speak for Anna because she's got quite the busy schedule this year. But you can catch Caps Talk on the Sports on the Hill podcast every Monday night at starting at 9. We're usually the first in the lineup there, starring Robbie Gross. And so it's usually me, Anna, C4, and a cast of hundreds. Sometimes that helps us out. That goes on. So you want to hear more about our analysis, you can catch that show then. So I think that's pretty much it, unless Anna, you had anything else?
I don't. I'm good.
Okay, yeah, I think I'm good too. So for the Mermaid, Anna Knox. Sorry. This is the Blue Liner on Point signing off and reminding you that walking home after Thanksgiving dinner, I passed 2 places along the street where somebody had left first a slice of apple pie, and a little further on down the road, an ice cream sundae. And a little further on down the road, just before I got to my house, I saw a lemon cheesecake. I couldn't help but think the streets seem strangely deserted.
Nope.
Hallelujah, and let's go Caps.
Go Caps.
This has been another episode of the Power Play Point Podcast. All episodes are available from Apple Podcast, the Podbean app, blueliner77.podbean.com, and now available from Stitcher. Music by Joe McAllister, voiceover by Jeffrey Conkle.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good night, Power Play Point Podcast. Thanks for listening.